Hey, everybody, welcome to the world's okayest mountain bike podcast. This is our third attempt today at recording this, but we're trying to get it out in a hurry so that a few of you who are heading to the BT Epic in Missouri can get hyped, including myself, who is not hyped, who is dreading every minute of what's about to happen to me tomorrow. So,
I cannot wait to hear what you think about a 50-mile sufferfest with a 38-pound bike.
Kyle, my bike doesn't weigh 38 pounds with my downhill setup.
Yeah, it does.
It does not.
37.4 or whatever it was.
I bet right now, before I throw the water bottle on and all that stuff, I bet my bike right now weighs 31 pounds with carbon wheels and light, bumpy, grippy, round things that we will not name specifically.
No,
yeah,
not a chance.
What kind of rubbers are you running this weekend?
We weighed my bike at your house at one point, and it weighed 31.3 pounds. And the rubber sneakers that are on my bike currently are significantly lighter than the ones that were on there when we weighed it the first time.
What fork was on it when you weighed it?
Well, my 36 was on it, but I don't think there's that much of a weight difference.
Oh, I bet there is.
Okay, not that much heavier.
Okay, so my bike is like 33 pounds right now, maybe.
You're 10 pounds over every other rider there.
In full boogie mode, dude, full boogie mode, that bike 36 pounds.
Possibly. That's possible.
Now, did you put carbon bars back on for this race, or are you still running the aluminum bars?
No, I'm running the aluminum bars. The Bontrager carbon bar is not a comfortable bar, especially when paired with carbon wheels. I just left the aluminum ones on for the sake of my hands. The Bontrager carbon bar is not built with a lot of flex, especially if you chop it down to 750 like I did. It's even stiffer.
Clinton, educate the listeners on when you decided you were going to race this race.
First of all, hold on. Ryan, you've raced this race, haven't you?
I have not done BT Epic, but I've done races on Berryman that have included some of Berryman Trail.
Okay, so everybody in St. Louis knows what the BT Epic is. For those people listening outside of our market, what is the BT Epic?
BT Epic is probably the largest regional endurance cross-country race. It's held in Steelville, Missouri.
Ozark Mountains.
In the Ozark Mountains, hills, whatever you want to call them. They were mountains before the dinosaur time or whatever they want to say. The terrain is very rugged. It's quite a bit of elevation. I want to say it's about probably about 100 feet per mile. So it's quite a bit of elevation. So it's a challenging race. How
many miles?
50 miles. And, you're going to get some of the top elite racers in the country that show up to race the pro class. And, you're going to see times under 4 hours for this race. But what are we shooting for on this, Clinton?
7 hours. I'm shooting
7. I'd be impressed if you did 7 hours. I will.
I did 27 miles at the Battle of Berryman back in like 2018 or 19 with cramping legs for the last 10 miles in right about 3 hours. So and I've been riding a lot more than I had been at the point in time when I did that race. So if I can do it without my legs cramping, tack on going quite a bit slower, maybe I could do it in 7 hours.
Okay.
So with that said, the leg cramping
ends out.
So with the leg cramping and everything else, are you bringing your friend Little Debbie with you on this ride?
I'm not bringing Little Debbie. I do have a bunch of goo pack type things, hydration mixes. I'm going to have a cooler with some stuff waiting for me about the halfway mark at Berryman Campground. Hannah's going to meet me out there. Might change my cami, might change my jersey, and freshen up a little.
Jersey.
This is your first actual full-blown real cross country race, though, right? Like real deal endurance cross country race.
How many miles does it have to be before it's real? Because I did a 27 mile.
I guess that's a lot. Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So how does your on the pack or on the bike or in the pack goodies look compared to an enduro race? Like, what are you bringing with you for this race compared to what are you not bringing that you normally have during an enduro?
Well, I have good. It's not going to be super hot. It's going to be like in the low 60s. So that's a positive. So I think I'm going to have a water bottle on the bike and a water bottle in the hit pack. I'm going to have those bottles already mixed up, one with a pure hydration mix with a little sugar in it, and another with a electrolyte and amino acid mix, and go back and forth on those, and then take some mixes with me to refill at the aid stations.
Okay.
Refill every aid station, mix it up. I'm gonna have a lot more gel packs on me, and then some waiting at the halfway mark to replenish them. I'm gonna take CO2 and plugs. I'm thinking about just leaving a tube behind, but that's probably a bad idea. Although I have faith in my bumpy, grippy spinnies that they will not get holes in them.
The new Vittoria.
Yes, and those.
I think a tube is a good idea.
Okay, I'll strap. I don't want
to. I'm not going to say hack isn't the right word, but you are about as rough on equipment as a human being can be while riding a bike. Bring 2 tubes, bro.
I'll throw a tube and an extra CO2 in. Just
girl.
I'll have my tubes and that.
You might want to have Hannah beat you with a
little first aid kit in my pack, just like bandages, wound spray, just in case I have a little accident. I've got my multi-tool. I've got a master link for the chain because the multi-tool I'm taking has a chain brake in it. So I'm actually leaving the one-up tool out and just taking my bigger one that has a chain brake in it. And let's see.
That's a pretty good pack.
I'm going to have a sandwich waiting for me, some Dr. Pepper to get that phosphorus.
Are you taping a banana to your bike?
No, I'm not. So that phosphoric acid, man, that's important to reactivate the digestive system about halfway. I might throw a Laura bar in as well for some like real food in the first quarter. I don't know. Ryan's laughing at me. If you guys could see his face, apparently I'm doing everything wrong because he's cracking up.
Dude, I was talking to a guy today. He's packing full potatoes. Like literally, he just boils potatoes and then puts those in his jersey pocket and he eats potatoes while he's riding.
That makes sense.
I'm not laughing like you're doing anything wrong, Clinton. It's just comical, like just hearing you plan for this. I don't know if you're doing anything wrong or not because everybody's different, right? So,
well, look, basically, I'm planning as if I was doing a lap at Berryman, which I basically am the first half, and then at the halfway, I'm gonna have some stuff, some more food to like basically start over, repack my, tape some new gels onto my bike and kind of eat sort of a meal, and then take off for the last half. So I don't know. I think that'd be enough. I've got enough fat reserves on my body to dig into.
That's part of the experience.
Okay, tell me what you think of this strategy. So, one Steve Friedman told me that if I'm confident that I can recover from a hard effort, he thinks I should go out pretty hard off the start in order to get ahead of, quote, the roadies before the first big descent, which is like a mile-long descent. You go about 4 miles in on gravel road, I think, and then you hit the first descent. I was looking at the map today on Strava, and he's like, you do not want to be behind those people when you get to that descent because there's where you've got free speed and you can relax while still going fast. and I remember this from the Berryman Battle of Berryman several years ago. There are some people, man, they are sit down and they're dragging the back brake all the way down
Both
the hill.
feet down, yeah. So, but here's my fear in that theory and Friedman's not wrong on that, but except for the fact that, do you think the roadies are just going to sit back off the start, and you think you can outpedal a roadie?
So here's my plan. I'm going to go with the third wave. There's 3 waves. I'm going to go with the last wave, which theoretically should have the slowest riders like me. But I think maybe I could be toward the front of the third wave without.
That's not a bad
plan,
man. Like the very few cross country races I've never done anything long. I've never done any more than like 15 miles. But any time that I get to single track, I am stuck behind like just hordes of people that can't go fast in single track and are good athletes. So I mistake myself every time and don't go as hard as I wish I would have out of the gate, because as soon as it gets to a place where I can actually pick up speed for free and really, I mean, just coast and kind of just enjoy my pace, I'm stuck behind people that can't do the same. And so how long of a ride is it until your first descent? I mean, are you 15 miles in or 10 miles in, or how far do you got to go?
4 miles in, but I think most of that 4 miles is gravel road.
Gravel road, okay, but there's a good gravel climb in there.
You're gonna have to hammer fest it hard all the way until that descent, and then hold pace.
Well, what I might do is just ride a comfortable pace, and if I look at my watch and we're at 3.5 miles, so I know we're getting close, and there's a few people, if they're just in front of me,
just get them.
I might go fast enough to get them. But if I look up ahead and like there's a big gap, a huge gap to the next person, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to chill and, remember that I have, 46 plus more miles to go at that point.
Well, just remember, if you get on that just remember, if you get on that descent and you got to make a pass, you just yell Strava real loud and everybody will get out of your way anyway. So.
Oh, I will Sam Hill I will Richie Rude the inside of some of these corners. I've done it before. I don't care. Like for me, that's a big part. You're basically doing 25 miles of descending, because there's nothing flat out in the Ozark Trail region. Just about. I mean, you're either climbing or you're descending. And so for me, without putting in any effort whatsoever down the hills, that's a lot of free time and speed, where when you're comfortable from racing enduro, you can go really fast down a descent and finish a descent 45 seconds, a minute fast ahead of the person you started with without even taking a pedal stroke. And while letting your heart rate come back down, just chilling. And for me, that's a huge part of my ability to get this thing done in 7 hours or even 8 hours. So, especially once we get to the actual Berryman Trail section, I know that section, especially the whole east half of it, there's some decent descents through there. I do not want to be stuck behind somebody where, I can knock a couple minutes off my time relative to this.
I can't remember. Does the lap finish up at the Three Sisters? They're right outside of Bass.
No, that's not there's still quite a bit to go after that.
But is that part of the race?
That is part of the race. That's part of the return to Bass.
Okay, I thought so.
I don't believe you do them twice, like once each way.
Just
from what I could tell, I think you do it once on the way back toward the end. It's about 3/4 of the way finished or more.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Have fun with those.
Yeah, I was looking at them.
I don't feel bad for you, though.
They're about 150 foot vertical, each of them, but they look kind of steep on the.
They're very steep, and I don't feel bad for you because I did it at 100 miles, not 50.
Well, so I signed up for this race for 2 reasons. One, is I thought it will make a funny story for the podcast, and that's how people I am. The links I'm willing to go to for a good story.
Link's
2,
great.
Vittoria sent me fresh meat for my bike.
What did they send you? The new Barzo, Mezcal, the down. What do they call it? The down country thing.
Synergy.
Sierra. I've got them on front and rear. I have ridden them once. I did 2 climbing laps at Shepherd. And this kind of opened my eyes because I really didn't understand, because I've never ran tires like this. And we're gonna get Ken. Oh no, my $20 is gone.
You owe Jonathan Schmidt $20.
$20 if I didn't say the word tires. I couldn't do it. Oh, I could totally cheat and edit this out, but I won't. Dang it! I tried so hard.
You hit it like the first 5 or 6 times you hit it, and then oh man.
Oh, I'm so depressed now.
The topic. I wanted to see if Clinton was capable of not saying that word for an entire podcast. Turns out he's not.
Well, congratulations, Jonathan. You don't have to pay me. I've never wanted $20 so bad in my life.
I think you should have to pay him.
I'm not paying him jack. That was never agreed upon. Well, now that I've said it, get this though. Down trolley track. I don't know how many laps down trolley track I have done. And I've done them every way. I've done them casually. I've done them hard. I've done them somewhere in the middle. I've done no pedal laps. I've done laps where I can pedal right at the top and after, where element and trolley merge together to try to double the rollers. I set my 3rd fastest time ever on trolley track, a 4:14, and I did not take from the very tippy top of the hub all the way to the very bottom. I took 0 pedal strokes, not half cranks, not a whole crank, not a single pedal stroke, and set my 3rd fastest time ever running those tires. So
that's impressive.
They roll fast.
So for people who've been there, and I'm sure we've got some listeners who haven't, at the very top of that run, you come off the hub, you go around a right-hand berm, and there's an optional rock kicker off to the right, where if you pull and pop pretty hard, you can downside into like a deep bowl turn. And usually when I hit that, I mean, I'm pedaling into the berm to gain speed. I come out of the berm, I take 3 or 4 really hard cranks to have enough speed to get to really jump this the way I want to jump it. And with those tires on, I did not take one single pedal and still had enough speed to jump it just about as far as I normally do. Like, I could not believe it. It really has got me questioning my life a little bit and my tire choices.
So this new tire that Vittoria graciously sent you, and we love Vittoria.
I should be only running this race, running these bad boys, which is hilarious that I'm on the worst bike overall to race this race on, but I might have the best tire for Ozark Trail type riding.
So it's more like a cross country type tread pattern, but like a more enduro casing, or what?
No, so I would say the casing is still squarely in like the trail category. So 850 gram tires.
Okay.
The knobbies, there is no dead center row of knobbies like there is on the Barzo or the Mezcal or a lot of the Maxxis cross country tires. If you look at the tire from above, there's actually no knobby that is top dead center. Any period. But the center knobbies are still, I mean, there's just a small gap, but the center knobs they're really small and they feel pretty hard to the touch. But they definitely break better and dig better than like a semi-slick. So it's not like a semi-slick. And then the cornering knobs definitely are they're more like legit trail knobs, but they're not super tall and big. But they definitely, so I've been actually riding the Barzo on the rear on this wheel set. I rode it just last, it was probably a day, like 2 days before I put these tires on. And compared to the Barzo, which is Vittoria's more aggressive cross-country tire, these tires have a pretty similar feel when you're upright, but definitely a more positive cornering feel. Like, boom, there's the cornering knobs. I've got them engaged, and they're going to hold at this level. Whereas on the Barzo, no matter how you're leaning, like, you never really feel that hookup. It just kind of has a consistent feel, and it's fine in the dry, but there's no like point where you're like, oh yeah, we're on the corners, we're digging through, we're ripping now.
Well,
So
hey, here's a question too. Not that I don't want to stop your 15-minute tire tirade like I do every podcast, but what kind of weather are you looking at for your race tomorrow? And how do you think that tire is going to do in that weather? And will it do okay if it does end up dumping rain?
well, the good news is all the Ozark trail system handles wet weather very well. Like there might be there'll be a few muddy spots, but for the most part, it's just going to be loose, like rocky, gravelly. It'll probably won't feel as loose because of the rain we've gotten. The weather tomorrow is actually supposed to be sunny and low 60s, so I suspect it's going to be a really nice day. The trail will be pretty stinking good. There'll probably be some wet roots in certain places, and a few muddy spots, but I think, from what I can tell so far, it does seem like the perfect tire for the kind of variable conditions that we'll be riding out there with enough casing toughness. It's 60.
Lost him.
Sorry about that. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
I had a phone call come in. 60 TPI threads with some nylon in there. So I'm not super worried about, getting a hole splashed in it or anything. But I think it's going to be good. So the boys, we have some news that we should cover real quick. Kyle and Ryan showed me their matching shirts. So our local shop has made a big switch in the last 2 weeks. And that is Momentum Cycles is now a Specialized dealer.
Yeah.
And actually has bikes in stock.
Yeah, we've got like 8 full suspension bikes in stock right now. We just built up an S-Works Canevo Turbo, and building up. We have 2 different Levo turbos in stock, and we've got some Stumpies, a couple Epics, and a Stumpy Evo. So yeah, no, it's exciting, man. It's new, it's fresh, and it's going to be a long time until I get one, unfortunately.
How long do I have to get to, sell my Trek and end up on one of these? Because I'm not. I know I'll end up on one. The question is it going to be a single bike or is it going to be a 2-bike quiver? Which right now, single bike is looking like more likely, just given my new scenario.
I think that Clinton, there's quite a. If they don't have something in stock now, there's quite a few coming. I think still soon. They probably get you in a Stumpy Evo.
We got one of those alloy Evo comps in either color. I think I'd take it in a S3, maybe even S4 sizing. Which means I would have to sell my bike, man. You guys know.
We don't want to talk about. We can't talk shop too much because we know there's a lot of people that listen that work at or support competitive shops, and so we love those guys. We're so thankful for those guys. So we don't want to talk about our shop too much.
Okay, well we won't do that.
But if you want one, you can go get one.
We'll save Clint's bike dilemma for another podcast.
Another podcast. So what's all right? So let's get it. So we've got a minute left really. What is your actual time goal, and what will you be not disappointed about?
All right. I think if I finished in 7 hours, that would be really good for me.
Okay.
And
Should
I
we
just
make
don't.
some kind of a deal on this, Clinton? If you finish under 7 hours,
I don't know what it would be.
some kind of a bet.
Yeah. I don't know what we'd wager. I would not bet against Clinton for hardly anything though, because your fitness is pretty good right now, and B, you're on the fastest piece of rubber you've ever been on a bicycle.
Yeah.
Right. Here's what I just don't know if my legs are going to cramp up or not. That's,
Pickle shot.
That's kind of one of the things is where it's like, I mean, I can be willing to suffer a lot, but if your legs lock up, you're done.
Yeah, I agree.
So, all right. Well, so that's it. So the next podcast will be the recap of Clinton's race and whether or not he was able to break the 7 hour mark.
Yeah. So all you listeners need to hop on the page, make comments about your experience if you went. It's just a party with us and 600 of our closest friends. We want to hear.
We want to hear how much faster you were than Clinton. So if you run better than 7 hours, tell us how fast you were.
Yeah, we just and heckle Clinton the whole race.
Please ask him for a Twinkie. And see if he's got any extra high hos or ho hos or whatever.
And I should have bought some of that today. I didn't even buy any of that stuff. All right, boys.
Hey, well, have fun, Clinton. Good luck, and we can't wait to hear about it and let listeners hear about it too.
All right.
Buddy.
All right, later, guys. Bye.
Later.
See y'all.